Hello, my lovely Spanish 3 class. So today, this Zoom is just going to be a review of the imperfect, and we're also going to do a brief review of the present tense as well, because your main writing activity looks like this on Google Classroom this week is about the imperfect or the past versus the present. So this says cuando eras niño, when you were a child, when you were a boy or when you were a girl, as in like little one. Said little one, but my voice sounded dumb, so I'm sorry. And then ahora, which is like right now. So we're going to do a review of those two tenses so you don't have any questions about the format of this assignment. And I'll even do mine as an example. That way, if you are confused about any of the questions, hopefully I will answer some of those for you. And then in addition to that paper that I just showed you, you also have a Google form activity that you're going to do this week. Half of the Google form is just like questions, practice, and then the other half is a quizzes. So you're going to do the quizzes and then you're going to type in your score as your answer. And the quizzes is going to be live for maybe like a week. So go ahead and get that done. That way I can give you the points for it. Because if you try to do this assignment in 3 weeks, the quizzes isn't going to be working. And so you're going to lose points. Sad face. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Ignore that, it's not for you. So we are just going to review the imperfect versus the present. Hopefully this will be good and quick. So the imperfect versus the present. So let's start off with the present. Hopefully you guys understand what the present tense is in English. It just explains something currently happening. So this is like the plain Jane tense in Spanish and English, like the most basic. And we learned this in Spanish 1. So you have your AR, ER, and IR endings. And to conjugate the verb, you just drop the infinitive, which is the AR, ER, or the IR. And then you replace it with one of these endings. And I know this is review. Like the majority of you all have these memorized, and you've had them memorized for like a year or two, which is phenomenal. And then if you don't have them memorized, that should be your goal, for sure. So an example of this would be like if I said, I speak Spanish in class. This is in the present because it's currently happening. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's in the present. Hence why it's called the present tense. So I speak would be yo hablo español en la clase. So we know that hablar is an AR verb, so we use these endings. So now we're going to compare this to the imperfect, which is a specific form of the past tense. So we determined last week, so it's the past tense if we're talking about habitual actions, routines, or if we are describing an activity in the past that got interrupted. And we only have two sets of endings. So we have our AR endings, and then ER and IR share. How great of them to share. That way we don't have to memorize as much. Makes our lives just that much easier. So what we need to do is we need to get these endings down, which hopefully it doesn't take forever, because you guys really, we focused on this all last week. So for AR verbs, we drop the AR. We're going to add aber. Two abas. El, ella, usted is also aber. They're the same. We just have to look at context. Nosotros, A with an accent. Vamos. Habamos. We have habáis. Then we have haban. ER and IR, a little bit shorter than habamos or haban. So we have ya, yas, ya. So these are the same, just like on the AR, we have to use context. We have íamos. This one's annoying to say. Iais. And we have ian. So if I wanted to do the same sentence in English, I speak in Spanish class, but kind of transcribe it into the imperfect. Instead of saying I speak in Spanish class, in the English imperfect, it would be I would speak in Spanish. Or I would speak Spanish in the class. Or another way to phrase it in English would be like, I used to speak Spanish in the class. And so these both mean virtually the same thing in English. They tell you the same exact idea, even though they do have slightly different words. So we're going to take hablar, which is an AR verb, we're going to conjugate it. Yo hablaba español en la clase. And everyone always says how Spanish is always so much longer than English. Here's an example where it's not. The Spanish version is shorter and slightly more concise in the English. So that's our basic review of those conjugations. So now we're going to go over our directions. And I am going to do my version of this for you all. And you guys are going to do yours for me. So our instructions, where we need to start with every activity so we know what's going on. For instructions, read the questions and provide answers based on your life. I would like to know a little bit about you all. Some of you I had in Spanish 1, some of you I had in Spanish 1 and 2. Some of you, this is my first year having you in class. So I don't know that much about you, especially because if you are a hybrid student, we were only here a month, so I only saw you like 4 times. So all of the questions on the left-hand column will require your answer to be in the imperfect, while the answers on the right will use the present tense. So the left column is going to be like how it was, and the right column is how it is now. So the question, ¿tenías mascotas? Did you have pets? The example says, tenía un perro, se llamaba Jolene. So I had a dog. That's in the imperfect. And then se llamaba is a reflexive verb in the imperfect. I had a dog. Her name was Jolene. And then in the present tense, we have tienes mascotas. Do you have pets now? It says, tengo un perro y dos gatos blancos. I have a dog and 2 white cats. So here we go. So when you were a child versus now. I guess I can write that on there. Okay, so we have the question from our examples. ¿Tenías mascotas? Sí. Tenía un perro. And the example was my actual answer. Se llamaba. Her name was Jolene. And then ahora, ¿tienes mascotas? I would say sí. So the yo form of tener in the present tense, tengo. Tengo un perro. Se llama Sophie. ¿Cómo era tu casa? What was your house like? So I might say, era una casa vieja. It was an old house. Era un poco grande. It was a little bit big, not really. And I might say, ¿Cómo es tu casa? What is your house like now? Because chances are most of us have moved from one house to another. But if you haven't, that's okay. You can use the same description just in the present tense. So I'd say mi casa es Es grande. Sí. That's big, I guess. For the 2 adults and a baby. It's a big house. And then it would say, tiene una piscina. So I have a pool at my house. Okay. Número 3. ¿Quién era tu mejor amigo? ¿Cómo era él o ella? So who was your best friend? So I would say era Shayna. My best friend was Shayna. ¿Cómo era ella? So I'd say Shayna era atlética y morena. So she was very athletic and she had brown hair. She had a dark complexion. And then right now, ¿quién es tu mejor amiga? Who is your best friend now? So right now, I would say mi mejor amiga es Sarah. And then I would say ella es un director en una escuela. So my best friend is Sarah. She is a principal in a school, aka Miss Elam. ¿Qué hacías en tu tiempo libre? So what did you do in your free time? What did you do in your free time? So I played a lot of video games. So I'd say yo jugaba videojuegos. I also played soccer. So I'd say fútbol. That was always my free time. And now, ¿qué te gusta hacer? What do you like to do? So I might say, me gusta leer novelas. I like to read novels. And then, so when you're little, which did you do more? ¿Jugabas muchos videojuegos o jugabas afuera de la casa? Did you play a lot of video games or did you play outside more? For me, definitely afuera. So I played outside with my friend Shayna. Nosotros explorábamos los bosques y nadábamos mucho. So I played outside with my friend Shayna. We explored the woods. So like we went hiking, exploring a lot. And then we had nadabamos. For some reason, AR verbs in the imperfect, I think, sound hilarious because of this abamos at the end. Mucho. So we swam a lot. And then right now, ¿qué haces en tu tiempo libre? These two are very similar. So hacer in the yo form in the present is hago. Hago mucho, so I do a lot. I could say juego con mi bebé. I play with my baby. Camina mucho, I walk a lot. Y veo Netflix. And I watch Netflix. So that is my complete example of your first worksheet for the week. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope to see you all at the Zooms. If you have any help or if you have any questions, I'm the one who has help to give you. So have a great day.